Everyone, and welcome back to our channel. First of all, thank you for all of you returning, watching our videos, giving us likes and subscribing, and as well for giving me an idea for this topic. After my first patent video, where I was telling you how CTR manipulation Google actually understands and how it tracks and how it understands if it's manipulated after a longer time or not, you asked me to create a video on passage ranking. It's a Google patent that talks about how online on-page content should work. And obviously, it is working for every niche, but I'm going to be translating into the online casino, online betting niche, because that's us, right? So thank you for the topic. If you have more topics you would like me to cover, don't hesitate to send me a message. First of all, what is this patent actually about? This patent describes how Google actually understands certain sections of page. So it breaks a document, a page, into a passages, sections, parts. And then it's able to understand and score and actually rank each of these passages individually, depending on how valuable and good it is to the search, to the query that people are looking for. So the ranking passages are based on how often similar passages appear, and as well, how is it written, what is the content, what are the variations, how you use LSI, and much more. The most important thing is to understand that it generates scores for a passage, not whole page. So it finds similar passages, it analyzes each occurrence, it assigns the scores, multiple factors to each passage, and then is able to rank them. It's very, very important. So if I have to break it into very small words, before Google looked at entire page and it either ranked it because it was a good page or it did not rank it because it altogether was not a good page, because intent was off or too many keywords, not enough keywords. Now, Google is trying to understand paragraphs, passages, parts inside of the page. And they can actually, not like the whole page, but could like a paragraph or a passage. And then they can rank it. Why does it matter? Because there are several things. One page can actually rank for several passages. Therefore, many different keywords, not just one. You don't have to create a separate page for each keyword or each small question. You can group it logically together, okay? And as well, the structure of a content is extremely important. So what is Google really doing if we have to put it in SEO reality? It indexes parts of the page, not just the whole page. It tries to understand a paragraph and rank it for a query, not the whole page. And it tries to find answers within the page with certain passages or paragraphs. And what does this mean for SEO? That you can be more creative with your pages. You should invest more in a good content, and you should create content that is not about one keyword, but creates clusters, topical clusters. We talk about it for a long time. Now, very important ranking factor is the structure of the page. Google would like to understand the logical structure, H1s, H2s, H3s, how they work together. How is H2 usually question explains in the answer? And is there a logical flow to the content, right? You shouldn't write it just for Google, you should write it as for humans, so it's easy on my eyes. I can follow what the page is actually saying, and it's easy for me to understand and convert in the end. Messy content struggles with rankings. So don't do this. Don't do messy structure. H1 should always be on top, and you should have one H1. H2s, you can of course have multiple, and H2s should be followed with a paragraph and then more explanation with H3s and H4s. You can create question and answers, and you should not put design over a healthy SEO structure. Now I'm giving you examples, and usually operators struggle with the structure a lot. So this is comeon.com. And right away, we can see that the structure is off. They have got two H1s, deposit tank at 60. And as well, they are about ComeOn is the #1 gambling site. Two H1s, very bad. SEOs in common.com, please work on this. As well, hyper.com, this is another common website. This is pure design over structure. You can see H4, H4, H1, H2, H6. Wrong. You want to have a logical structure where you should have H1, H2. H2 should have a P and then another, preferably H3. But again, this is very much a problem of operators' design over actual SEO. Affiliates are a little bit more clever with it, so I found many affiliates that are doing this absolutely beautifully. However, I'm giving a shout out to online.casino. Look at the beautiful logical structure: H1, H2, H3, H2, H2, H2. And these are actually being nicely explained. H1, then there is a paragraph, then H2. H2 is listing the international casinos that they think are the top offers for the April of this year, and they are actually naming the casinos under H3. H1 is covering the international online casinos 2026. It's not that just the structure H1, H2, H3, and P's are logical. The headings are logical. How they work together is logical. And this is what Google is looking for in this passage thing. As well, answer style content wins. I don't think this is a surprise to any of you, because we used to, and this comes with all of this patent, we used to optimize for a keyword, online casino. Page used to be overstuffed with online casino. In 1,000 words, we had 300 online casino, online mentions, right? Because we are optimizing to a specific keyword, because that's how we used to search, and that's how we used to find the answer. Now we are asking, we're having conversation with the Google search, right? Or not just Google, as well, ChatGPT. How many times you go and write like, how do I do this? Or what is the best this? Who was the actor playing this? We are asking and we're finding answers. And therefore our content needs to change this way. We need to be answering and asking. So if you include questions and answers, it's a really good thing. Long-term content sort of gets a boost, meaning you don't need to do the skyscraper method. This company has got 2,000 keywords, 2,000 words. I'm going to have 2,300. No, meaning not to one keyword, not extremely thin content, not content that is content for the sake of content, but optimized to a beautiful content that helps, that answers our questions, right? So before, one page, one topic. Now one page can have several topics, because we can break them with H1s, H2s, H3s into certain clusters, into certain passages. And each of these passages, as we already said, could be evaluated and ranked on its own. So what is important to understand in this is most SEOs actually miss this, and you need to be a little bit into the LSI and to the content. So Google evaluates the passage relevance, how well the passage matches the user's intent, right? So I am searching for Einstein's best and funniest quotes, and I land on a page that is telling me when he was born and when he died. Although it is about Albert Einstein, the intent is not there. Therefore, the passage relevance is not there. Passage uniqueness as well. This is very good. Are you just copy pasting from other websites? Are you bringing something new? We all know that Google is trying to rank original content. So for example, for affiliates, it could be original bonuses or exclusive bonuses for this affiliate. This is what they are. These are the casinos. This is how you claim them. These are the wagering requirements connected with them. They are answering the intent, and they are original, and yet they are consistent across the web. This is very important. So just because you are original, you shouldn't lie. The consistency is important, meaning it is truthful. It is really the truth that, for example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. It is a known truth, and if I claim it on my website, there are other references around the web as World Wide Web, not my website, that are claiming the same. Therefore is the truth. I am not lying just to be original. So try to think this. User intent. Am I offering something unique, unique perspective on something, unique message, unique offer? And as well, am I telling the truth? Am I serving a consistent information? So if you are doing casino SEO, again, instead of trying to rank per one keyword per page, create a cluster of logical things going together. For example, bonus types and how you can, which payment methods you can use for these bonus types. What are the wagering requirements for these bonus types? Obviously, you don't want to do bonus types for casinos and then talk about how football was last night and what are the results. You want to be consistent. So you want to create a logical cluster of keywords. And now a very important thing is the core principle of all of this. How passage should, most important thing about what this patent is actually about. So how the structure of a page and the message of the passage ranking should work. So the core principle is that each passage, for example, H2, should be a standalone answer that could actually rank for a certain query. So once again, not the whole page, a passage. So you have a strong message in your H1 that you use only once on your website. Best online casino bonuses in Malta, Guide 2026. It is just an example, okay? And then you have got H2s that explain certain part of the bonus. And all of these H2s is a ranking opportunity. You think of it that when you explain the no deposit bonus or casino bonuses in Malta, all of this could rank separately, not just as a whole. All of this is able, it's so good optimized, and it's so good answered, and it matches the user intent, and it's giving the truth, and it's giving some original point of view or original message that it actually could rank independently. And of course, use the answer first paragraphs. I already talked about it, how important it is, but just a reminder, H2s are a fantastic place to use questions, and then have P under that actually explains it. Now, this is something that people, again, miss the actual answer, how we build it. Many times people say, as mentioned above, you don't want to score for as mentioned above, or as I already said, or as I many times mentioned. You actually want to explain and answer the question, because, once again, each paragraph, each H2 can be treated separately. So if you do as mentioned above, I don't know what the H2 is actually about if you're actually giving me a good, useful answer. And then, of course, use semantic SEO. LSIs are powerful, not just for Google, but as well for users. If I want to read something, I want a beautifully written content. Use things such as bullet points. Who doesn't love bullet points? Just to rest your eyes on it and see if you want to read more. Short paragraphs. We don't have a great attention span, so just you want to give us the answer right there. Tables, comparison tables. We absolutely love this. And at FAQs, blogs, FAQs are good. We just talked about it, but you can use them as well as a schema markup. And again, explain H2s, H3s, explain. I would love to recommend something that is not part of the passage ranking patent, but there was a test where, just because I was talking about the answers and questions, we love to do, again, design over SEO. In the crawlable paragraphs of crawlable accordions, take the answers out of the crawlable accordions, and basically you will see a result, an uplift of your performance. According to this test that was done by Whiteboard Fridays, Moz, a result was 12% uplift in performance. 12% is a lot, so even if it's less, it's still a plus, and you just need to rethink how your page is laid out. I am personally very much against all these crawlable accordions and read more, because Google claims they can crawl it, and it probably can, but doesn't mean they always do. So make life of bot easier. As well, use very clear heading language. Things to know is nothing we want to rank for. How wagering requirements work, we want to rank for, because this is something that people actually look for. And it's a very beautiful conversion string of keywords, because if they are looking for what are wagering requirements, how they work, how many times I need to wager, They are looking to actually claim that bonus. And then, of course, optimize feature snippets. Feature snippets are gold. They are helping us rank. They are beautifully organizing our data. So for sure, I would highly recommend to actually use them. And internal links. Internal links are very, very important because they are helping bots. They are helping humans. They are creating a natural navigation. So many times you want to click on something, and it doesn't have to be just between pages. Of course, it's recommended. However, you can do even within the page, within the section, right? Look how Online Casino is doing it to top list, or you can do it to anything you want. So you can use sort of jump links on each page. Most mistakes I would like to keep in mind is wall of text that are full of fluff, unoptimized headings, meaning the text in headings is unoptimized, and the logical flow of headings is not there. So H4s before H1s, two H1s on one page, H1 not being followed with other H's. Just really think of the structure of the page and what you want to say in each of the heading. Keyword stuffing instead of actually working with LSIs. Very, very bad mistake. We still see it. And writing lots of fluff before answering. Answer, question, question, answer. This is how we try to search. This is how we should search to serve the content. And what actually moves the rankings that I would like you to remember, clear H2 targeting, because as we talked about it, each H2 is an opportunity to rank for a passage. Then beautifully written, clear answer, 2-3 sentences after each H2, so P. FAQ sections, take them out of the crawlable accordions, and clean formatting. It's better for indexing. So this is what the patent is about in few words, and I hope it was really helpful to you. And I really hope that you will tell me about more things you want me to cover, because I really enjoyed covering this video. Thank you.